If you're not where you thought you'd be at this point in your life, you're not alone. There's a lot of noise in the world right now. People telling you that you have to be perfect just to be good enough. Have perfect discipline, a perfect morning routine with a perfect meal and exercise plan, while working your day job and side hustle for 10 hours each and somehow still getting 8 hours of sleep. I know I fell pretty hard into believing all of this growing up. I wanted to take in all the information I could, optimize my life to be absolutely perfect. And almost a decade later, all I did was distract myself from solving my issues. Instead, telling myself there was some optimized method to fix my life. Maybe you can relate to this. You watch some videos, or read a book, or listen to a podcast, and feel great for a while afterwards, but just end up riding that high instead of doing anything. Though there's something we all overlook during this process of trying to optimize our lives. The most successful people in the world aren't waking up and taking cold showers, or meditating for 30 minutes each day, or going on some kind of motivational power walk every morning. They're waking up at a consistent time and putting in the necessary work. It's not flashy, and it's not inspirational, but also, they didn't start by being able to do all of that. Just as wealth or social skills aren't built up overnight, the habits and ability to acquire them aren't either. And no biohacking regimen that you're using to avoid the important fundamental work in your life is going to make that any easier. You have to take things at your pace, not the pace someone else sets for you. And I can't tell you what pace will work best for you. That's something you have to trial and error for yourself. What I can say is to start with your sleep and nutrition, because that is how your body recharges for the day. Imagine plugging in your phone for only 2 or 3 hours each night with a shitty cable that likes to disconnect, and then expecting your 45% charged phone to last as long as if it were 100. It'd fall short every single time. Your body's the same way. You need to let yourself recharge and refuel adequately. Now that doesn't necessarily mean 8 hours. Maybe it means 6, maybe it means 10. Again, you need to determine that for you. I know for me, 7.5 hours seems to be the sweet spot. More than 8, I actually tend to wake up groggy, and anything less than 6.5, it's the same thing. And also, if I'm not listening to a video or podcast in the background while I lay in bed, it can take me upwards of an hour of just laying there. But with some background noise, I'm out in 15 minutes most nights, which goes essentially against all the information we're told about how to fall asleep quickly. Everything says we shouldn't take our phones to bed, but that is exactly what I need if I want to get any kind of sleep on a consistent basis. This is what I mean by figuring out what works for you when it comes to sleep, because you're unique, and your needs are going to be unique as well. And the only person who can figure that out and implement it is going to be you. Now, the next thing to consider is what work you actually care about. Yes, there are lots of things you should do. The things your parents, friends, and society tell you would make your life successful. But what do you actually want to put your energy towards? What lights a spark under you? Maybe not a full fire, but maybe nothing lights a fire for you anymore. I know that struggle, which is why we just want to look for something. What thing that, when you think about doing the boring work required to achieve it, makes you think to yourself, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that right now. Focus on that. And, where you can, put aside the things that aren't important to you personally. The shoulds you don't actually care about, so you can make space for the things you do. Next, take stock of your internal dialogue. How do you talk to yourself? Probably not great. But being your own drill sergeant isn't going to make things easier. It's just going to keep you stuck. Ask me how I know. That negative inner dialogue can feel validating when you don't like yourself as a person. When you feel you've let yourself down, it can feel like something you deserve. But it doesn't move the needle in your life. It only reinforces the idea that you're not good enough to actually do the things that you want to do. I know it's cliche, and I know it's not easy, but you need to forgive yourself. We're all just flawed, hyper-intelligent monkeys navigating a world we were never built for. Think about it. We are maybe the slowest creature on the planet relative to our size. Even bears can run faster than us. Yet we can drive a car at 60 miles an hour and it can feel slow sometimes. That's pretty incredible, but it's not something we were built for. And that's what makes it so amazing despite it being seen as common. In the same way, if you're able to do just a little bit of work on that thing you so desperately want to, even if it doesn't seem like enough, that's still pretty incredible. And habits are built from doing the thing that isn't enough over and over again until suddenly it is. So go easy on yourself, because success really does come from the monotonous small tasks done repetitively for a long period of time. So find a consistent work pattern that will let you lean into it long term. I have some ways you can do that in other videos on this channel, so definitely take a look at that. But the biggest thing to focus on is starting small. And if small isn't enough, then go smaller. For example, you want to start a YouTube channel, but struggle to sit down and write for 3 hours a day. Okay, what about 1 hour? Still too much? No worries. How about 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or even 5 minutes? The goal here is to get started and work on the habit. And before you know it, you'll have made the progress you've been wanting to for months or even years. And you'll come to realize that you're actually spending more time on your work each day without even noticing it. Now, hopefully this video outlined some things for you in a way that resonated. If that's the case, a like and a subscribe would mean a lot, but more importantly is that you take some level of small repeatable action for yourself. My personal suggestion would be to download a habit tracker that tracks your daily streaks. For me, I use an app called Habits and one called Habit Streak, which you can see on screen now. They aren't sponsors or anything, just apps I found that help me see the progress I'm actually making in my actions. I find being able to watch the days I successfully work tick up in number to be enough to help spark that little competitive desire in myself for achieving more each day. Now, if you want a more gamified approach, an app called Habitica, also on screen, is pretty cool too. It's designed like a mini RPG that rewards you for tasks completed by giving your character gold and bonuses for doing the daily tasks and the unique tasks that you set. But the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video is that you need to take stock of what your actual goals are, not what others told you should be your goals. Make rest and recovery a priority as frequently as you can. Start with small, manageable steps, and quit being so needlessly hard on yourself. And yes, it is needlessly, no matter what your brain might be telling you. With that said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions or anything to add, go ahead and toss that in the comments below. And just know that you've got this.